My name is A.D. Jenkins. I'm the sales manager here at Cima. Have many years of IT experience, and I would happily say I am a Navy veteran. So John was mentioned at the beginning that I hope someone you all got to see the Blue Angels fly over. I think that's been incredible. I missed it today, but I hope you got a chance to check that out. So let's talk about why we're here. We're here to basically COVID-19 has impacted all of us, and I think I'm safe to say that. I also can say that this is a major disruption that has caused us to to think differently, to socialize in a different way, and mainly work and communicate differently. So this series was created to speak on topics that can benefit you during and after the pandemic. So while we don't know and don't have all the answers, we like to share what we do know, and we would like to provide some guidance because some things that you're experiencing, like shifts in your business. So we hope that this can minimize the disruption to your organization as well as the customers that you serve. And finally, our end goal is to just equip you with resources to help you work smarter as well as being more efficiently. So I'm going to move on to next slide. Do I have control here, John, to move to the next slide? Okay. Yeah. So just a little something about about Cima. We have two pillars that we operate under. The first one would be us as a value-added reseller, which I will talk about, as well as an MSP, and I'll talk about on the next slide. So as far as a value-added reseller, we resell customized products and services to end users. So then the role that we play is working with information technology industry, providing additional hardware, installation services, consulting. It can be troubleshooting and other related products or services on top of the core products. And I'd like to say that Cima was born out of the vision to help business owners by reducing the cost of their infrastructure. We help companies of all sizes simplify their infrastructures, streamline their IT operations, as well as improve their system availability. But what's really and most important when it comes to that is building relationships, trusted relationships, I would say, and then establishing rapport based on integrity, expertise, and speed. And I think I got ahead of myself, so I have to back up a slide here. Okay, all right. I hope I'm not pushing it the backwards, but it's probably a little delayed there. But this is what the agenda is all about. And the topic we will speak on is Microsoft 365, their core remote components. We also talk about the IT resources to run your small enterprise. And then we will allow some time for Q&A also. So we're going to the next slide. So the main thing I want to illustrate here is that Cima, we deliver a reliable and efficient IT that creates financial value for all of our clients. We were founded in 2005, and we are a proud member, as Andrew mentioned, of DFW MSDC. We have locations here in Dallas, in Austin, Texas, as well as we do a lot of work with the state of Arkansas in Little Rock. And I just mentioned about the managed service provider. I will talk about that on the next slide, as well as the value-added reseller. We are partners of IBM, VMware, HPE, Dell EMC, Microsoft, which we are demonstrating right now through Teams, and John will talk about that. We're in the top 500 as far as MSPs, as well as the top 250 for the tech elite. Okay. All right. So this example here, what you're looking at is a typical organization chart for enterprises in a small business. So And I want to say that not all the roles are defined by one person. Maybe multiple people can be performing several roles. So, for an example, you can have a CEO, which can be the owner, president, or it can be several partners together. And under that would be like for financials, you have your CFO. For sales, you have your CSO. If you have a larger type of organization, you will have operations, followed by R&D, research and development, human resources, as well as CIO, which is the chief information officers. That's their main goal is to ensure that your IT is delivering strategic value for you. And from a leadership team perspective, you have roles responsible for execution. So you can have a controller that reports to the financial officer, and under that controller, you can have an AP clerk. And as far as on the sales side, you would have a sales manager, and under them can be working inside and outside sales. So and going further over to the CIO, what I really want to focus on is under the CIO, you can have an IT director, as well as or maybe a help desk manager with technicians to do the heavy lifting. So what I want to focus on, where Cima comes in at, we step in and we become your IT department or your MSP. And currently, that IT person can be your most technical savvy person, who is also, for example, can be your CFO. So they're doing multiple roles. So we come in and we become your CIO. We become your IT director. We become your technician to create the value in your organization. But most importantly, what happens then that the other folks in those other roles, they can go back to doing what they normally do to focus on their business. Okay. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so we're going to get to I just want to give you an overview of who Cima is and what we really do. But this time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. John Auday, who is the CEO of Cima Solutions Group. As I mentioned earlier, he started Cima in 2005. He has a professional experience, which includes 12 years at IBM, performing various sales management roles, duties including business unit executive in IBM mid-market sales organization. He has also served as a general manager for IBM Business Partner Firm and regional vice president of sales for Onyx Software. John is a UT grad. He's a Longhorn sports advocate of many years. And most Saturdays, evenings in the fall, you'll find him in Austin cheering on the football team. And also, John is an avid distant runner. So he would be many mornings you'll see him out there running, preparing for marathons, which I have no interest in. So, but without further ado, I will now turn it over to our fearless leader, Mr. John Auday.
Thank you, AD. I will not hold your LSU ties against you over there. And we should have beaten you last year in the fall, but hopefully we get a chance here, this upcoming fall. So again, thanks for everybody for joining. What we're going to do, that was our only little advertisement. That's it. So the rest is hopefully education for you. And what I'm going to try to do is we come at it from a business owner's perspective on how technology in this new environment can help you thrive and survive, and more importantly, position you that when we get out of this, this pandemic and and we really are open, how can you position yourself to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to present themselves? So what I'm going to talk about is a lot of the core components that you may or may not already own. If you have a subscription to Microsoft 365 or Office 365. And we're not going to go into Outlook and all the other stuff. We're really going to go into the things that, that might assist you, in terms of how you might operate your business remotely and collaboratively. After that, we're going to do some, and I'm a big, my partner over here, Alex Morrow, doesn't like it when I put little acronyms together, but I like to do that. So I got IT resources for us to rise, right? So I'm going to point you to some things that are out there right now that are free of charge, some things that you should invest in and what have you. and then we'll follow that up by Q&A. My goal is we're not going to keep you here past an hour, so feel free to enter in something in the chat box if you got any questions on it. And then I'm presenting out of Microsoft Teams, so it's a little. I'm going to tell you, typically I wouldn't do this. I'm just doing this to show you that you can, but typically I would have presented out of Microsoft PowerPoint and then, shown it there. But I'm going to show you how the collaborative tools allows you to do this. Let's say if you had an internal meeting and stuff. So if you see me jumping and then coming back, that's basically what's occurring, over there. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. So Microsoft 365. Like I said, is the Office 365 environment. What I'm going to focus on is Teams and OneDrive. But before I do that, I want to kind of show you, what's included in your Office environment. So if you have an Office 365 basic license, you're going to get pretty much most of this here. So you'll get Outlook, of course. You're going to get OneDrive, which is going to be the file share, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. You would have the online versions, depending on what version of O365, you have the online versions of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. If you had the E3 license, you would actually have the not only the online, but the ability to use them offline, as well. You have OneNote, which is a great note-taking thing that you can do collaboratively and assign to-dos and what have you. And Microsoft's rebranding some of this, by the way, with as more and more people are jumping on the Microsoft O365 and Teams, they're going to be pushing what's called Planner, which will integrate OneNote and the to-dos and what have you, from there. SharePoint, which is a portal system. Microsoft Teams, which is this collaborative environment that we're going to be talking about. Yammer, which is more of like instant messaging and chat and what have you, and then admin. You can see down here, this is a lot of the the capabilities that you're going to get out of OneDrive and stuff. So like I said, what we're going to really focus on here is Microsoft Teams. So jump back over to here. So in Teams you get basically with one window, you're going to have the ability to look at all your calendars and meetings over here. They integrate with Outlook. You're going to be able to create, share, edit, find content, using OneDrive, OneNote, or SharePoint. You'll be able to call, members if you had the if you actually had the version that can go outbound. You can go outside of your team, but all the inbound you could have internally be able to to talk to members, and then chatting and instant messaging and what have you. So let's go jump over here to kind of show you a little bit about how this all works. So right now I'm actually in a presentation in a team. So to familiarize yourself, what teams are, is teams going to be kind of that organization within your organization or the organization as a whole. So Cima Solutions Group, we have our team, and then I got a little general thing where I could post different information. We have our Monday morning sync ups. We have the ability to to collaborate in here. I have files that I could share with my organization. I have forums that I could create, like this one was just a little something just to get people talking about what they're doing while they're off on staying at home. List your top 3 binge TV suggestions for the weekend. Little forum we can put out there just for fun. But that's kind of the the general organization over there. I could sit over here and I could type in a chat and say hello, and Michaela, who's my marketing person, and I could send her a just like a little whatever, a little GIF file. And it allows me to, if Michaela is working out of the house, be able to chat with her and to collaborate with her, from there. We also have just a group of us is just a sales and marketing, which is going to be myself, AD, Alex, and Michaela. So over here, you can see we were sharing, this PowerPoint that I'm presenting to you right now. and I could edit, within this, and Michaela could edit in here, and Alex we could all jointly collaborate on this, PowerPoint. It's been shared with that, subgroup. We have logo, different files that might have been shared and what have you that are in here. So the general concept is you got a team, and that team, is going to collaborate. It's going to put different information together into this one, setting. Our text board. So Andrew had mentioned that, we do support for, for the DFW council and stuff. In here, this is where our techs are gonna collaborate. They have the quick question or announcement or something they want to discuss. They can put it into this, this tech board. We actually have it set up that if a ticket comes in overnight, it emails into this team, and you have the ability for us to, for everybody that's subscribed to this, this team to take a look at it. We can do general announcements as well. Michaela, just so blog posts, and then you can kind of just do emojis. So it's that whole, kind of a group text, group chat type thing with your overall team. You also have the ability to do chats over here. So right now, so AD asked me, "Are you wearing a jacket?" earlier. Want to make sure we're dressed the same. I said, "I'm making it relaxed since we're all working from home." And he gave me this little, thumbs up. So that would be like a chat between AD and I. I have a chat here between, AD and myself and Michaela. I could, do a chat to, say, Alex, and, Alex can, get it and then chat back to me and stuff. You can also see over here, as I'm chatting, I have these 3 different icons. So that means I could create a video call, and I'm not going to do that because we're in a video call right now, but I could video call the 3 of us, and we would have a 3-way video chat session that's going on. Or I can do this audio call, and it's going to launch a phone call to each of the other participants, and we can have an audio conference call. Or I can share my screen with the 3 of those. So it's just a quick way to do impromptu meetings, in this chat. You can see Alex over here. He already replied to my, my hi from there. So, you have chat, you have Teams. Like I mentioned, you have the ability to put your calendar. This is the calendar entry that we have for the, Thriving During a Post, Pandemic. So this webinar, series there that we're able to join. I can create new meetings, right from here. Discuss the next big thing, and I can say, hey, I want AD on this, and I want Alex, and we're going to meet tomorrow at 1:30, and then I send that, and then it automatically created it as a Microsoft Teams meeting for us with an audio phone number and a conference ID and everything. You can actually do this out of your Outlook as well. So out of your Outlook calendar, you can schedule, these meetings, and they're going to be embedded over to here. And then, it allows you to, to have all that functionality over there. You can execute calls, as I mentioned before. These are all internal calls. So this is the team. If I wanted to call, you could see Alex shows he's in a call because he's on this meeting right now. AD shows he's in a call. Michaela, she's saying, hey, don't even disturb me. She's in this meeting, as well. Mark's away. These are some guests I have. So that's the other thing, is that I can actually chat with people outside my organization. So we did a little Teams training with Gwen last week, who's a council member over at Ryan West. And so I was able to send Gwen, a chat. So she might not know as I'm sending this, but hope all is well with you in a council Teams session and showing them how to chat externally. So it doesn't even, I don't need to have somebody on my team in order to do this chat. So you can create these virtual teams outside of, your organization. another nice thing about Microsoft Teams is, if you look, you saw these other, let's go back to that. I showed you these other apps that are over there. So I actually can create and embed third-party applications into Microsoft Teams. So there's some really good ones for, creating forms right now that are out there, or, some ones that, let's say if you want to do a little whiteboard session with someone, you can do a whiteboarding session by embedding that app in here. So there's a lot of capabilities within Microsoft Teams. The nice thing about it is it's free right now. It's part of the Office 365 subscription that you have. Or if you wanted to just, fire up a Teams app thing and you don't have 365, Microsoft's giving it to you for free for 6 months. So I'll show you how to go off and get that, a little bit downstream over there. So, so that's kind of Microsoft Teams in a very accelerated, a fashion. I want to kind of stop down here and see, if there's anybody that has any questions on Microsoft Teams that I can, answer at this point and stuff. So as I mentioned before, you had, there's the, the chat session. If you wanted to, enter in something into it, if you click on that conversation thing on your screen, that's going to come over here. This is the meeting chat, and then you can go ahead and ask a question here. And if you don't, that's all right. Also, I can just keep on moving over to the OneDrive demonstration. So, Michaela, were there any questions out there on Teams?
So far, so good. Keep going.
All right, very good. So, go ahead and once again, show you. Okay. So going back to presenting out of that that PowerPoint that we already had created over here. So I said this PowerPoint is shared. The back end of anything that's being shared, is actually Microsoft OneDrive technology. So let's jump over to that. So a couple things about OneDrive. The first thing is you can see you can access it anywhere. So let's say you have today a file server in your environment, and you wanted to access it, and you were working out of your house. You'd have to jump onto your VPN potentially, or a remote desktop into your, to a local workstation, and then be able to access your files. You're probably familiar with Dropbox or Box or OneBox or what have you, or Google Drive. Microsoft's version of that capability is Microsoft OneDrive. You're able to access it from your iPad, from your iPhone, from your Android phone, from any web browser that's out there, and from your desktop as well. So it's going to be the same exact file folder structure that you're familiar with, where you have the previews, and then you have the actual file folders and what have you. That same look and feel is going to be on your phone. One thing I recommend, for you all, any iPhone users that are out there or Android users, is to download the Microsoft apps that are out there on the App Store versus using the internal apps that are already on your phone, the Apple apps. And I say that because if you think about it, Microsoft is going to be the best developer for access to their email or to their file structure, file folders, or what have you. And it's going to be the most secure overall. It also is going to provide you the capability to not only access files that are on that phone of yours, but all the files that are up on the cloud as well. And so a good example is if you're using the Outlook email client on your iPhone versus the Outlook the Mail client on your iPhone, the Outlook email client on your iPhone. If you do a search for, say, John Alday, and you interacted with me a year and a half ago, it's not going to show up on your iPhone Mail because it never got brought down into your iPhone. But it is going to show up on the application, on the Outlook application, because the Outlook application is the front end to all of your emails that are being stored in Microsoft's Office 365 cloud. Same holds true for OneDrive. If you're using OneDrive, you download the application from the App Store, and you're going to have the ability to access those files from your iPhone, your iPad, from wherever you are. It's also going to be a lot more secure. I think next week or the following week is a security webinar. We strongly advocate that you put two-factor authentication on your email or any of your Microsoft applications, so that if you do lose your phone, you have the ability, that somebody can't just get on there. They'd have to, you have the ability to wipe it, and you have, securities for it that allows you to have a lot more of a seamless, secure environment and what have you. So that it's a little bit of the security. It's going to go over a lot more dialogue later. Another thing about OneDrive is you have the ability to share those files granularly to an end user. Let's say if you wanted to, you as the CEO have a payroll spreadsheet, that you've got payroll and spreadsheet, and you want to share it with, your payroll manager, but you don't want everybody else. You have the ability to just share it with that individual. Or let's say you have an accounting department, right? Or control, CFO and somebody that does payroll or whatever, and there's certain secure files that you want to put in there. You have the ability to add a file folder and then only designate a certain group or individuals, to have access to that file. You can collaborate on, this PowerPoint itself, as I was showing you before. We can edit it here, and AD can edit it, or Michaela can edit it, or Alice can take it and clone it and edit it or do whatever, because they're all part of that one team that we've only given access to the files to the sales and marketing group in that team. So we have that collaboration capability, over there. The untethered mobility, that's kind of what I was talking about from before, where you don't have to, be at your office to access your files and to access your file server. You can be anywhere. You can be in, Aruba, if you wanted to, and access it off your iPad, and you're going to get all of the, the files associated with it. I believe you get 1 terabyte, so that it's, for the most part, it's going to be more than enough for any one individual. For enterprises, we're able to take that and then consolidate that and provide even, unlimited, capacity for you. So you don't never necessarily have to, to buy that file server. And then finally, Microsoft already has quite a bit of, the backup capabilities and, the extensions and what have you, to allow for you to make certain that your files are going to be there. We kind of advocate also to kind of back that up into a third party as well, so that there's never, the ability for anybody to take this. A lot of other benefits associated with OneDrive. The main message here is, this is part of that Microsoft 365 core components that you already own, that's going to allow you to collaborate and to work, efficiently within your organization already. There's a lot more. If somebody wants me to jump into more on the Microsoft, I can. And the other piece is that, as follow up, with AD, we can jump into and do something like one-on-one with anybody here. And I'm definitely interested in making all of us, successful and stuff. And so, if you ever wanted to, jump on a quick Microsoft Teams, session and kind of see how can you harness, your Microsoft capabilities further, I'm completely open to that stuff. So, that's my offer, for you. So On the other IT resources to run your small enterprise. So I cut and paste a couple of things that maybe you know or maybe you don't know, and when we're done with this, we're going to follow this up with an email to you all so that you can get access to that. But I kind of broke it up into 3 areas: advertising and marketing, business productivity and cloud resources, and IT support. So advertising and marketing. Facebook has provided $100 million in cash grants and ad credits for up to 30,000 small businesses. There's a report that's out there. So, definitely I would go out and put your name in the hopper, for some of that. Google is offering $340 million in advertising credits to small and mid-sized businesses through the end of 2020. So again, these are things that you're able to jump on right now and parlay even further I'm assuming we've all gone off and gotten those PPP hopefully things, but this there's a lot more that's also available to you right now to get us over the hump and then to be able to thrive after the fact. So here's that little bit more detail on that. Mailchimp is what we use for our email marketing. They're providing a $10 million price relief fund to support small businesses. You just have to fill out a form to request the funding. So, what I would encourage you to do is any service that you're using that's IT right now, just do the quick search and what is it? Constant Contact COVID. And there you go. Constant Contact. They might be, giving you resources and what have you. I don't know if I was just doing this one out of chance, but look to see is your provider, your software, any of those, what are they doing to help you get over the hump? Because most likely they got something that's out there. There's a web page that I found that has 70 different software things that are available to you right now. We'll share that that with you as well. So, and that's where I found some of these there. LogMeIn, which is Gotomeeting, they're providing emergency remote work kits for you to be able to meet face to face. So this is some of the stuff you can get from Teams, but if you want to use GoToMeeting, you could do that. To host webinars, and then most importantly here, to access anywhere your PC. So this would have been just back at the beginning when COVID-19 was there, a quick way for you to access your desktop, on your at your office. Would have been through that, and we have the ability to assist you to do that as well. So again, another offering for you. As I mentioned before, Microsoft Teams. Microsoft is doing a lot. This is their commitment to COVID-19. So they're making Teams available for everyone, regardless of whether you have an Office 365 account or not. They are providing you Microsoft 365 Business Basic for free for 6 months. So this is for those so you're going to get custom email domain, access to the Office web apps, cloud storage, and host meeting for up to 200 people via Teams. So you're going to get this for free for 6. So if you haven't moved over or you're using GoDaddy, for example, or something like that, now is the time to do this. If you've been using, if you just started up and you're still using it at Gmail, getting that your own email domain is going to amplify you that much more. You're going to not look like a one-person shop if that's what you have. You are. You can look like a large entity or what have you. So you get all that using this Microsoft 365 Business Basic, for free for 6-month period. If you wanted to deploy a virtual desktop, which is basically saying like right now I'm kind of presenting off of a virtual desktop. It's my desktop and I can access this anywhere, but just by logging in. Microsoft is offering the capabilities for 12 months to get started, with all this. So the way it works is they're going to give you 12 months of popular free services, a $200 credit for Azure to explore other, Azure is Microsoft's cloud environment, and then a bunch of always free, things. So the free for the products that are free for 12 months, compute, which is going to be a server or that desktop or whatever. So 750 hours of a virtual machine. Blob storage, which is like backup, kind of storage. 64 gig, of storage for your managed disk. Database access, lots of different things. Now I'd say it's probably is a little intimidating looking at it. That's where you probably would need somebody like us to kind of help you understand how you might be able to, take advantage of, what's available to you for free, there. Zoho. So we are Zoho. Not a lot of people know about Zoho. We use it for our customer relationship management environment. We've been using it now for 14 years, or not 14, about 10 years, I guess. We used Salesforce before that. So Zoho provides you lots of different applications that that you can use, whether it be a customer relationship management application. If you were, here are all their products. Customer relationship management. If you want to do surveys, if you wanted to host meetings, if you wanted to do expense accounts, it is the amount of things that are available to you out of Zoho are immense. I tell you, we just use it from a CRM standpoint, and it integrates beautifully with all of our with our Office 365 and our Google environment and what have you. So if you were looking at saying, okay, you know what, I want to start having a robust sales and marketing organization, a way to start is by taking advantage of what Zoho is providing from a marketing campaigns capability and a CRM, and what have you and stuff. So, been a big advocate of it. I think it's a great way to, to get your organization, all under one customer relationship management system. And then finally, IT support. So at Cima, one thing we're doing is kind of trying to match that 8 weeks of, PPP, support, and saying, hey, we, if there's a new client that was looking to, they're at that 10 to 15 person up to say 40 person, organization, and they want to not have, that same person. Let's say there might be an operations person or salesperson that's been running IT for you. You want to have that person really work on your business and then have IT worked on by a professional. We're providing basically that onboarding, which is usually the first month, and then the first month of support free of charge, with a 6-month contract. We're also, and I'd strongly encourage you to take advantage of this, is our desktop agent, which is, it's not a support agent, but it's an agent that will basically monitor your system. It'll put an antivirus software on it. It will manage your, all the patches that Microsoft might be coming out with and what have you. So these desktop agents, we're more than happy to install that up for 8 weeks, free of charge. After that, excuse me, after that it'd be $10 a month, for those agents and stuff. And so it's just a good way for you to be able to, especially now when you're working remote, when you're having to work on your home computer and you want to make certain it's secure. Just a good way to be certain that that environment is secure, what have you. So there's a list of so many other resources that are out there for you to to succeed. Michaela does a great job. Every two days a week, she's been sending out emails to our clients and kind of giving them information on ways to make yourself more productive, in this new remote workforce, as well as, trying to put those, those headlights out to next, when things are opened up, how do you take advantage of, the fact that you're going to be prepared and you're going to be ready to, to move on and stuff. So we'll provide you that, as well. So, so that was a lot in a little bit of time. We'll toss this back over to the Raging Cajun, AD Jenkins. So,
okay. Can't believe John just called me a Raging Cajun. I am a tiger.
I don't know, man. I was just throwing that out. Just trying to call me an Aggie. It'd be the same thing, right? So.
Okay. Hey, again, thanks for everyone for joining. And at this time, I'd like to open it up for some questions. So, Michaela, I don't know if any came through at this time.
Yeah, we've got a couple from the form that people had questions about. So one of the first ones was, how does Office 365 work for a small business in particular? And given the other amount of home cloud offerings, what makes Office 365 the right one to adopt and then maybe sell to some other people?
Sure. So for a small business, the great thing about it is you can scale from 1 to infinity. I mean, I throw that out because we're not going to go from 1 to infinity, but you can start off with 1. You can start off, and I mean, I look at when we started up Cima Solutions Group 15 years ago. For me to have had all those capabilities right out of the gates would have cost me, thousands of dollars. Here, I can, for 6 months for free with Microsoft 365 Business Basic, I'm going to get my domain, I'm going to get email, I'm going to get the Office suite, get all these collaboration tools that are going to be protected, are going to be secure. And after 6 months, when I've grown my business from 1 to 10, I can just add the 9 more people during that. And 10 years later, when I'm at a 150 person company, I still have that, that same foundation from that first email I sent, day one and stuff. So it really does follow the trajectory of your growth as you're moving on. So that second question, it really is, there's that difference between professional and home, right? That even Microsoft brands out there, there's, home is not going to have any of the, the secure capabilities or whatever out there that you're going to get out of the professional. And I've always personally subscribed to the begin with the end in mind. If the end for me is a very successful company where my employees are able to thrive and to be developed and to really take advantage of the capabilities that are out there to move forward, then I'm sitting there. I'm going to go with something that that's more of a it's going to be bent towards that kind of a trajectory, an enterprise, a business trajectory, versus if it was just something I was setting up for the family or whatever, then I might do something with the home. So it really depends on what what it is your end game over here is how you make that decision. The nice thing about it, I mean, Microsoft, a pretty big name, right? So you get to, by affinity or by association, become a pretty big name as well, a credible resource, because it's Microsoft. It's backing the solutions that you have. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Hey, John, Hey, John, this is Andrew. You can hear me?
Yes, I can. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so John, I just want to thank you for that. And I know when we do our new supplier orientation, we tell folks, I think you hit right on it with the email and the domain. You want to look like a large company. So I know with Office 365, not only can you set up your email, you can set up email aliases. I know your team kind of walked me through that. So if I want an email to go to accounting or to sales or to accounts payable, I can set up all those emails, but no one would ever know it's all coming back to Andrew. So again, 6 months free for businesses, and we came off of GoDaddy as well with their Office 365 and made that cut over, and that's there. So that was some great information. I think if you're on the call today for this, you just got 6 months worth of Microsoft for free, because this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So I just want to make sure we get that out to business owners.
Yeah.
We had a couple questions come in through the chat. First off, how secure is your company information with the software?
Alex, are you on, since you're the secure guy? You want to answer that one?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, again, back to, oh, I see my video's not on. Let me go ahead and turn that on. So y'all can see me. Hello. All right. So yeah, the security is definitely something that, as John mentioned, everything is backed by two-factor authentication or through an app. So, as long as you have those recommendations in place, then it is secure. Their access to your email is something attacks to email is one of the primary points of attacks for businesses. So ensuring that your Office 365 and your teams are secure is very important. So as long as you're using that two-factor authentication, even if your password is compromised, your account is safe. Of course, anything has the potential to be compromised, but with that two-factor, you're definitely really as safe as you can be. Definitely, and when you compare to an on-premise solution like hosting your own Exchange server, there's definitely a lot more attack vectors for on-premise environments than there are with Office 365 backed by two-factor authentication.
Thank you, Alex.
I think we have time for like one more question.
Oh, yeah.
This person said he mentioned Dropbox. Does OneDrive function like Dropbox? For example, Dropbox allows you to send a link to someone outside of your company so they can upload a file, picture, audio, etc. to you. Is that how OneDrive would work? If not, using OneDrive, how could someone outside the company forward something to you?
So you have the ability to, and it's going to be a couple of different ways. So if you just, let's say if you wanted to share a folder with an external entity, that person that you're trying to get that file folder or file from, you can do that via the web without any issues whatsoever. So yeah, you could send that link, the folder link to them, and then they could upload it from there. You can send it. It's going to be secure as well with the 128-bit security and what have you. I'm trying to think. So I'm understanding the Dropbox. So I can send a link. I can share a file, no problem, either from OneDrive by just sharing the link. I can make that. I can actually make that available to not only one person but to multiple people, or actually open to the web as well, based off of whatever secure settings I set on it and stuff. There's a lot more to it that you're able to get with OneDrive. Dropbox is going to be more of just like that one-on-one file share type of a thing. So I don't know if that answered the question or not.
Alrighty. She said, okay, thank you. So
okay, good.
Alrighty,
Okay.
Any last questions or anything from anybody?
Okay, sounds like there aren't any other questions. I'd like to, again, thank you. Andrew, can you please tell Margot we definitely appreciate it. I want to remind everyone that we'll be back on again next Wednesday. The topic would be tools, tips, and tricks for an effective remote workforce. So please check that out. And also, we are recording this, so I noticed someone just said that they were a little late coming in, so if anyone wants to just go back and look at it, they feel free to do that. So like I said, for the next couple of Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, we'll have topics such as this, so please feel free to do that. Also, I don't know if you have it up, John, if you can put it up real quick, the slide with my email address and my contact information.
I also want to point this out. Look what Gwen said. They had the best. Thank you, Gwen. She give me a little shout out. All right. Let me put that back up. Yeah.
Okay. And by saying that, please don't be shy. A lot's going on. There's a lot information we'd like to share with you. Even if you know and just want more information on it, that's what I'm here for. Please use me as a resource. call me or email. It doesn't really matter. So just as long as you just stay in contact, as well as there's a website on there, the cimasg.com/solutions. When you go out there to learn more about who we are and what we do and what have you. So without anything else, I think we're done. John, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's all good. Yeah, thanks, Andrew, and tell Margo I said hello.
All right, John, are you still doing your Friday team training? Is you still every Friday?
Yeah.
I know you guys do a free teams training outside of what we're providing. So if anyone wanted to know more or go in depth on things, are you still providing that on Friday? Then after that, we can close and thank you for all your hard work.
You bet. Yeah. So we still, and what we're going to do, and you can feel free to unsubscribe if you want, but we're going to put you, anybody that, was on this, we're going to put you on our email distribution list. It's going to have that Friday teams training that we do 11 a.m. every Friday. If it's only one person, you're going to get a one-on-one. If it's, 5 people, we'll customize it a little bit, but yeah, we do.
All right. Thank you. But again, thank you, John, for this. This was great. Looking forward to the May 13th. I know you gave us a lot of information, but if I want to tell anybody else, if you're not on Office 365, you got 6 months for free. I would take advantage of that just because. So go ahead and do that. But again, thank your team. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, AD, for this. And we're looking forward to May 13th, tools, tips, and tricks for an effective remote workplace.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks all.
All right,
Have a
thanks,
great day.
everyone.